buddy Jake, and in this video we're going to go over some tips that you can use if you have a dog that's reactive to other dogs. Now we say reactive versus aggressive because some dogs they're very boisterous when they see another dog because they want to go play with them. Sometimes dogs are reactive because they don't like the other dog, want to make it go away. And so Jake lives with a couple of other dogs, and they all like to bark at the neighbor's house, which is actually right here. There's a dog. Basically, it's not the greatest setup in terms of dog psychology because Jake's house is higher. For dogs, the higher they are, the more rank or status they have. So he looks down into the neighbor's yard, and they have a dog, a very well-behaved, polite dog, and he barks, and that dog goes in the house. So what Jake kind of thinks is my bark makes that dog go away. So what we want to do, if our dog has a behavior that we don't want, we have to give it a replacement behavior. We have to teach it what we want it to do. So behind us over here, we have a gentleman over there, a couple gentlemen that are going to be doing some construction. So what I'm going to do is a version of what we call the engage-disengage game. Sit. So when Jake looks over there, I'm going to click when he looks, and I'm going to give him a treat. And it might take a second for him to look. And normally it'd be nice to have a dog here, and we'll talk about that here in a sec. So basically he's looking at me because I'm the one with the treats. Now he doesn't know, so he's almost accidentally looking over there. But when he does, I'm marking it, and then he's getting a treat afterwards. And you need to load your clicker if you're going to do this sort of thing. And as you see, Jake is now starting to look in that direction more frequently because he's figuring out, when I look over there, David clicks to let me know that's what he wanted, and I'm getting a treat. And you see what he did? What did he do there? When he heard the click, he disengaged. So let's say that over there, those gentlemen over there, let's say they're a dog. So I click for him looking at the other dog. When I click, it's causing him to turn his head away to get that treat. So this is, at first what we do is we click for him looking at the other dog, but eventually what happens is we wait for him to look at after we've done this enough, he looks at the other dog and he looks at you automatically because he's anticipating getting that treat. At that point, we would click when he turns away. So if there's dogs here, if I'm the dog, so I'm clicking for looking at the thing and looking away from the thing. So when dogs are reactive, they're trying to make the other thing go away. They're trying to get more distance. Dogs are kind of very front-facing, so they don't think that I can back up. But as a human and a handler, we can increase that distance for them. So what you want to do for this sort of activity, in order to do this, we need to find a distance where Jake can see the other dog, but without reacting. Mm-hmm. So I like to say I cheat. It's not cheating, but I don't practice this just out and about. I would have a friend who has a dog. Yeah. I'm talking to on my earbuds, and I could have them maybe a quarter mile away or however far I need to have them away. Okay. And every time that we get in trouble, I can tell that person, hey, go around the corner. So they go around the corner, Jake kind of settles down, and then I have them come back up. And eventually we get to the point maybe we're at 50 yards, and Jake's looking at them and then looking away, and eventually then we can go to 40 yards, then 30 yards. Now, Jake once ripped the leash out of his guardian's hand and ran to play with another dog. He was very aroused. Well, we could do this in our car. You could drive to a dog park or a place where there's a lot of dogs, but remember, we have to be far enough away where he's not working reactive. And also the other dog's gonna be an impactor. If the other dog is bouncing off the walls going crazy, you're gonna have more distance you're gonna need. If the other dog's pretty calm, you can probably get closer, so you'll have to ebb and flow for each dog. But the idea is to create a structured situation where Jake is looking at the other dog, we're clicking to let him know looking at it, and then he looks away. And I haven't really loaded this as well as I would like at this point in the video. But eventually it gets to the point, so, right there. Yes. I guess I don't have to say yes when I'm clicking, do I, Jake? They're the same thing. But see how he's already turning away. Now that's not a dog. Dogs he'd be much more aroused. So you'll have to find a distance. I talk to a lot of people like, no, David, anytime he sees a dog, he goes bananas. There's always an amount of a distance that you can find where eventually you can, and you have to start, and it's a progression. I wish there was an easy magic wand we could wave and it fix the dog problem. It's really teaching the dog and helping the dog practice the behavior you want through these structured setups. So what I'd like to see you do is like at least once a week, but if you could do it about 3 times a week, in like 10-minute practice sessions, drive to a park where a lot of people are gonna be with their dogs. Stay in their car. As soon as he looks at them, click and give him a treat. You can be sitting there in a nice warm car or a cool car, depending on the time of the day or season. And now you don't have to worry about him running away. If he barks, then you're going to have to move him further away. So have your car running so you can start and stop. Eventually you can do this out of your car, which is what I usually like to do. But if the dog is powerful, you might want to use something like that so that you have a barrier. But eventually we're just creating an association. I look at a dog and I look away and I get a treat, and they gradually get closer. And eventually I like looking at dogs because that means I'm going to get a treat. Now, I'm going to give you a couple other quick tips on a walk. So I'm going to have you follow me a little bit. We're going to walk. Now, a lot of people, a lot of trainers, these force trainers will tell you got to tell your dog when they can sniff. It's a bunch of BS. Sniffing, if he's sniffing, then he's not barking because he's already occupied. And sniffing is kind of how dogs engage with the world. So let's say that we're walking down the street. Let's say we're walking this way. And up the street over there, let's say that we see another dog. Jake, find it. Jake, find it. Jake, find it. And you can say yes or click. There you go, Jake. But hey, how you doing?
Hey.
I am.
Dude,
we're trying
for
to get
you.
these dogs to not bark at you guys.
For you guys. Sorry.
You're commenting on how polite your dog is. He barked and your dog went inside. But the idea is, what we want is now the dog, if we see a dog coming here, I did a find it, he turned away and he got a treat. And then I did another find it, he's moving away from the dog, got another treat.
Okay.
So I usually like to do this, I call it a find it away. I usually do the first one directly under the dog's nose, find it. Second one is about 2 feet away, find it. Say find it before you throw it. And then find it. And then the next one's 3 feet away, the next one's 4 feet away. So
Okay.
at this point, you moved your dog about 10 feet away, or if people are coming that way, you just turn around and you're walking the other direction.
So he'll never be calm with the other dog.
Well, no, you'd be surprised. I mean, a lot of people say, my dog can never do this, but it's what you have to have them practice it over and over again. And after a while, then Jake's like, hey, I'm gonna be looking on the ground for all these tasty treats instead of looking for the dog that I want to bark at.
Okay.
So it's a nice little trick. And the other last little thing, if I'm walking with Jake, yes. So when you're on a walk, get a treat pouch like I have. This is from the mini treat pouch from PetSafe, and have it open. Every time Jake looks at you, say yes and hold the treat out. He's gonna come back to you to get that treat. This is the foundation of loose leash walking, which is what we teach nowadays. We usually don't teach dogs to heel, and it's not very much fun. But if every time I look at you as Jake, I get a treat, and you're holding the treat, I've got to come to you to get that treat.
Yep.
So instead of pulling to get away from you, which is where all the rewards are, you're the reward. And I'm going to do it more and more frequently. And so a lot of people are like, do I have to give my dog treats all the time? I'm like, if you're lucky. Some dogs don't like to get treats or too aroused on walks. You have to play fetch or something like that. It's much harder. So have treats with you, walk around and have those treats. And if he's not checking in with you, just walk in front of your house or in your backyard on leash until he kind of gets used to it and starts looking at you more and more.
Okay.
Get one more before. Yes. Well, this is my buddy Jake, and these are some tips on how you can help a dog stop being reactive to other dogs out on walks.